And welcome back to the show. Well, Donald Trump is our president. He got sworn in. He's off to an okay start. I know a lot of the press is really getting into the minutia of his various appointees for the various secretaries' positions. And there are some questions that ought to be asked. But you know what? I don't think the average person, the average Trump supporter, really cares about who he picks as Secretary of State, of Secretary of the Department of Energy, Education Secretary. Those who are affected by those agencies do, and they're very involved in having lobbyists there in Washington and watching all that's taking place and raising questions. The average person just wants results. The various secretaries didn't win the election. Donald Trump won the election, and they're going to give him a pass. They're going to let him go off to a 6-month start, but they're looking for results. I had a lengthy discussion with someone that said, well, but it's Trump, the personality. And I think he was the messenger. I think his message is there's going to be some dramatic change in areas like immigration, like Obamacare, healthcare delivery, the economy, jobs, putting up protections and borders. Whether you agree with those issues or not, that's how he won the election. And I think those issues, if they are not addressed, are going to be his downfall. 6 months from now, Obamacare should be abolished. The big question is what's going to be put in its place. There's been no alternative to say what's going to be put in its place. I've got several senators I see that are talking about health savings accounts. Well, to save, you got to have the money to save. And if you're not making a decent wage at your job, you don't have the money to put into a health savings account. So some big problems there with changing Obamacare. Immigration, a huge border crisis. Where are we going to get the money to spend billions and billions of dollars to not just build a wall, but also maintain drones and more troops and take a much more proactive effort along the border? A huge problem that I'm not sure you can address in 6 months. These trade barriers. There's a huge conference going on right now as we speak over in Switzerland, Davos, Switzerland. It's called the Davos conference over there, where world leaders gather and a lot of business people there to talk about the state of the economy. Their speaker was the president of China here last week, and he talked about competition, but he also talked about bringing down trade barriers so everyone could trade more. He was talking directly opposite what Donald Trump is talking about. And so who's going to win out in that fight? And are we going to put up barriers? And is it going to hurt us as other countries retaliate? Those are some tough issues that Donald Trump needs to address. He's got to do it right away. And so, again, I think it's the message that he's got to deal with. He was the messenger, a very effective messenger. Now, some people say, well, he's got to be more conciliatory. He's got to tone down his rhetoric. That's not Donald Trump's style. That's not his style when he built his business and all of his business dealings. He's very aggressive. It was his way or the highway. That's how he got elected. People say, well, you got to be more conciliatory. He's saying, look, I beat 18 Republican opponents, beat him solidly, got the nomination. I beat Hillary Clinton. Why am I going to change? A lot of people think he should change, but I don't see him really changing his belligerence, his very aggressive style. The proof's going to be in the pudding. Will he see those results? Education is going to be a huge issue. There are tons of money that go into various states from education. Betsy DeVos is the new Secretary of Education. I tend to like what she's done in the past. She's received a great deal of criticism, and the Trump people did not prepare her for the hearing. She was a little rough on her answers. She was asked, should there be guns in schools? Well, generally, no, there should not be guns in schools, unless there's some specific exceptions, maybe in the principal's office if he's trained in that regard, just as a backup emergency. But in general, you don't want guns running all over the schools. Well, she said the best example she could give is that in some districts out west, they need to have a gun in the school in case a grizzly bear broke into the school and attacked the kids. Pretty lame answer. But in any event, that's an insider thing. The average voter out there isn't paying that much of attention. So Donald Trump, I wish you well as president. You've got about 6 months. There's a honeymoon that's going to take you on for a while. But again, it's not your personality. Obama had the personality. Bill Clinton obviously had the personality. With Trump, they want results, and we will see in the months to come whether or not we get those results. Hey, glad you're watching my website. Hope you'll tune into my radio show this weekend. Check your local listings. Just go to this website right here, JimBrownLA.com. I'm on Sunday mornings and Sunday afternoons all over America. Talk to you next week.